The golden age of the Maya unfolds like a grand stage play where every city is a rival actor competing for the spotlight. Across the jungles of Mesoamerica, stone temples tower above the canopy, their stairways steep and endless, built to touch the realm of the gods. When the sun rises, its light strikes these temples in perfect alignment with the stars, proof that Maya architects and astronomers moved in harmony with the cosmos. At the heart of these cities, the plazas are alive with color and sound. Merchants sell cacao beans, vibrant feathers, obsidian blades, and jaguar pelts. Nobles wrapped in jade jewelry and shimmering headdresses parade through the crowds, while painted warriors display scars as badges of honor. The smell of burning copal incense drifts through the air as priests perform rituals, calling upon deities who rule the rain, the harvest, and even time itself. Knowledge is the foundation of Maya power. Their calendars are so precise that they can foretell eclipses centuries in advance. Farmers follow the stars to guide planting, while kings consult astronomers before waging wars, believing victory depends not only on soldiers, but also on the alignment of Venus. Scribes record every detail on stone monuments and folded bark paper codices, ensuring their history is not forgotten. But beneath the brilliance lies tension. Rival dynasties scheme constantly. Tikal and Calakmul, locked in an eternal struggle, treat each battle not just as a clash of armies, but as a cosmic war between divine patrons. Marriage alliances between royal families serve as weapons as powerful as obsidian swords. Every feast, every ceremony carries a hidden agenda. Behind closed temple doors, there are darker secrets. Certain rulers possess forbidden texts, ancient codices said to hold prophecies and rituals beyond what even priests should know. These rulers guard them jealously, fearing that revealing the truth might undermine their divine authority. Rumors spread among servants and soldiers. What if the glory of the Maya is not destined to last forever? The Golden Age is dazzling, but it is also fragile. Every glittering mask hides a face haunted by ambition. Every towering pyramid casts a shadow. And though the people celebrate their greatness, an unspoken fear lingers in the background, that all this glory is only temporary, and that the gods who bless them could one day demand a terrible price.
Behind the splendor of the Maya courts, betrayal brews like a storm on the horizon. Rival dynasties, once bound by marriage alliances, now sharpen obsidian blades in secret. Kings who parade before their people as divine rulers hide darker truths in their palaces, where whispers travel faster than soldiers' feet. At Tikal, the king sits on a throne of jade, but rumors spread that his own brother covets the crown. Servants claim to have overheard midnight meetings where nobles plot to poison him during the next sacred feast. In Calakmul, spies lurk in the marketplaces, trading not in goods, but in secrets. One word, one careless slip can topple a dynasty. The betrayals are not only personal, but cosmic. Priests sworn to guard sacred prophecies are accused of selling fragments of forbidden knowledge to rival cities. A sacred codex, said to predict the death of kingdoms, is stolen from a temple archive, vanishing into the night. Panic spreads among those who believe the theft was no accident, but part of a greater conspiracy. Meanwhile, queens play their own games of survival. Some arrange secret pacts with foreign rulers, promising their daughters as brides in exchange for soldiers and protection. Others weave networks of spies within the priesthood, ensuring no prophecy can be used against their families. The royal courts, glittering by day, transform into webs of intrigue by night. The people begin to sense the shift. Farmers and artisans whisper that the gods no longer bless their rulers with unity, that human greed has poisoned divine favor. Murmur spread through crowded marketplaces. If kings betray their brothers, if priests betray their temples, then perhaps the gods themselves are preparing to betray the Maya. Every dynasty appears powerful, yet each is haunted by shadows at its doorstep. The Mayan world, once bound by shared belief, begins to fracture into rivalries, betrayals, and secrets too dangerous to speak aloud. And as alliances crumble, the stage is set for a chain of disasters that will ripple across the entire civilization.
The Maya kings rule with the authority of gods, yet even they bow to the will of the heavens. In the Golden Age, astronomy is not merely science, it is prophecy, and the stars themselves are treated as messengers of fate. Among these celestial patterns, one stands out, a chilling prophecy tied to a rare alignment of planets and the sudden flare of a distant star. In the temples of Copan, priests gather in secrecy, their faces illuminated by torches as they debate the meaning of recent celestial events. Venus has appeared brighter and closer than ever before, a sign traditionally linked with war, conquest, and death. The priests argue whether it is a warning of divine wrath or a chance for rulers to seize glory. Whispers spread of a forbidden codex, hidden in a royal vault, that speaks of a star event destined to bring devastation. Some claim it foretells the collapse of kingdoms. Others insist it warns of a shadow descending from the sky, a darkness no army can fight. The prophecy divides the priesthood. Half demand massive sacrifices to appease the gods, while the rest insist that blood alone cannot alter the stars. Rulers exploit this division. Ambitious kings use the prophecy as a weapon, declaring themselves chosen protectors of the people. They gather armies under the guise of divine command, leading their cities into wars fueled less by strategy than by fear of the heavens. Meanwhile, rival rulers accuse their enemies of fabricating omens to justify conquest. The heavens, once a shared source of unity, become a battlefield of belief. For the common people, unease spreads like a plague. Farmers watch the skies nervously, timing their crops not by the rains, but by strange movements of the constellations. Mothers whisper to children that the gods will soon descend, either to save them or to punish them. In the marketplaces, storytellers speak of a second sun that will one day rise and burn away the Maya world. And yet, in the shadows of the temples, certain priests guard their silence. They know the prophecy in its entirety, but dare not reveal it, for it contains a truth that could shatter the power of kings. The stars do not lie, but their message may be more terrifying than anyone dares to believe. As the prophecy spreads, fear seeps into every corner of Maya society. Kings and priests, desperate to control fate, turn to the only weapon they believe can alter destiny: ritual. But these are not the sanctioned ceremonies of old. These are darker, forbidden rites, whispered of in fragments of lost codices, rituals outlawed even by the gods. In shadowed temples, rulers demand offerings greater than ever before. Ordinary sacrifices no longer satisfy. Now entire groups of captives are dragged to the altar, their blood spilled to feed the sky and hold back the doom foretold in the stars. The sacred plazas, once places of festivals and trade, echo with the screams of victims as incense smoke thickens the air. Priests perform strange ceremonies that blend astronomy with sorcery. They smear sacred glyphs with blood, chant verses from hidden manuscripts, and attempt to call down visions from the heavens. Some claim to see omens of burning skies. Others speak of a serpent of fire descending from the stars. The rituals do not bring peace. They bring madness. But not all rituals are conducted in public. In the depths of royal palaces, secret chambers host rites never meant for human eyes. Kings summon only their most loyal priests and warriors to witness them. Rumors spread of rulers sacrificing not just captives, but members of their own bloodlines, believing only royal blood could appease the gods. In hushed tones, servants whisper of queens vanishing from palaces, of children never seen again after moonlit ceremonies. The forbidden rituals create a rift. Some priests denounce them as heresy, claiming they are not acts of devotion, but acts of defiance against the gods. Others insist they are necessary, that without these offerings, the prophecy will surely come to pass. This division weakens the priesthood, turning allies into rivals and feeding the fires of civil conflict. The land itself seems to react. Droughts lengthen, rains fail, and strange plagues spread through the cities. People believe the rituals have angered the gods instead of pleasing them. Fear grows that the rulers have not averted disaster, but accelerated it. The forbidden rituals, meant to preserve the Maya, only deepen their cracks. Blood flows in rivers, faith is corrupted by desperation, and the line between piety and madness blurs. In trying to outsmart the stars, the Maya may have sealed their own doom. The Maya world, once a constellation of thriving cities, begins to turn against itself. Rivals that once traded goods now trade fire and blood. The sacred plazas, where festivals once united thousands, become battlefields filled with smoke, screams, and ash. Tikal and Kalgmul, ancient enemies, lead the charge. Armies painted in crimson and obsidian march through jungles, cutting down rivals and burning their temples to the ground. The sky darkens with smoke as flames devour wooden homes and thatched roofs. Warriors carry off prisoners, not for ransom or alliance, but for sacrifice, feeding the insatiable demands of kings who believe blood is the only shield against the prophecy. Yet, amid the chaos of war, something stranger emerges. Entire libraries of codices are deliberately set ablaze. These aren't the spoils of conquest, but targeted destructions. Priests and scribes weep as shelves of folded manuscripts, records of astronomy, history, and prophecy turn to ash in the night. Some claim it is an attempt to erase forbidden truths, to bury knowledge too dangerous to remain. Others whisper darker suspicions, that the rulers themselves are ordering the burnings, not their enemies, as if hiding secrets from their own people. In Palenque, smoke rises not from more, but from within. Royal archives are locked and torched, while priests who question the king's orders are executed for treason. Survivors claim to have seen glyphs predicting the end of dynasties, hastily chiseled out of temple walls before the fires consume them. It is as though someone wishes to rewrite destiny by destroying the record of it. The people suffer most. Crops burn, rivers run red with ash, and refugees flood the jungles. Families abandon their homes, fleeing not only the invading armies, but the terrifying sense that their rulers are hiding a truth worse than war itself. Fear spreads that if the prophecies are real, their destruction will not save them. It will doom them. The flames consume more than wood and stone. They consume memory, history, and trust. Every burning city is not just a defeat. It is the deliberate silencing of voices, the erasure of knowledge that might have explained the fate to come. And as the smoke rises to the heavens, many wonder, are these fires acts of war or acts of conspiracy? The fires die down, the wars slow, but a deeper mystery begins. The cities themselves empty. Plazas that once held thousands of voices fall silent. Temples stand tall but abandoned, their stairways overgrown by vines. Entire populations vanish into the forests, leaving behind not ruins of war, but the eerie stillness of deliberate departure. At first, it happens quietly. A few families slip away under cover of night, abandoning their fields and markets. But soon, the exodus grows. Entire neighborhoods are deserted within days. Farmers leave their tools mid-harvest. Potters abandon half-finished vessels in their kilns. In some cities, food is left cooking on fire pits, as if the people expected to return, yet never did. The question spreads, why? Some say the people fled hunger, seeking fertile land beyond the drought-stricken valleys. Others whisper that priests commanded the exodus, claiming the gods demanded migration into the jungles to escape a punishment written in the stars. Stranger still are the accounts of rulers themselves leading their people away. Kings and queens vanishing with their courts, leaving behind palaces of stone, but carrying secrets into the shadows. The journeys are harsh. Refugees carve rough paths through dense forests, hunted by wild beasts, weakened by disease and famine. Many never survive the journey, and those who do speak of visions. Strange lights in the night sky, thunder without storms, and an overwhelming sense that they are being driven not by choice, but by destiny. In the abandoned cities, clues linger like ghosts. Half-erased glyphs tell of prophecies unfinished. Murals depict leaders pointing toward the jungle as though guiding their people into the unknown. Archaeologists of the future will find no signs of mass graves, no decisive battles, only silence, as if the people had simply walked away. For those left behind, terror festers. Was the Exodus an escape or a trap? Did the rulers know of a greater danger that could not be fought with armies or rituals? The forests swallow the people, and with them, the truth of why the cities fell silent. The Maya did not vanish in fire, they vanished into mystery. As the Maya world unravels, whispers spread of an enemy more dangerous than war, drought, or prophecy. An enemy hidden in the shadows. Some believe it is not the gods who curse them, nor the stars that threaten them, but something closer, something unseen. Among the survivors of burned cities, rumors multiply. Plagues sweep through villages with unnatural speed, striking the healthy down in days. Strange sores and fevers appear, unlike any sickness known before. Healers fail, sacrifices bring no relief, and many begin to wonder, did outsiders bring this disease? Some claim traders from distant lands carried it in secret. Others insist it was released deliberately, a weapon of vengeance disguised as illness. But fear also turns inward. Priests accuse other priests of treachery, of twisting prophecies for personal gain. Kings whisper of secret factions inside their own courts, shadow groups that stir unrest, ignite wars, and manipulate omens to topple dynasties. In more than one city, officials are executed in public squares for consorting with the hidden enemy, their bodies displayed as warnings. Yet the accusations never end. Every betrayal reveals another layer beneath. And there are darker suspicions still. In some cities, villagers swear they've seen strangers in the jungle, figures with unfamiliar weapons, moving silently through the night, watching from a distance but never approaching. Were they invaders? Ghosts? Messengers of the gods? No one can say for certain, but fear spreads if the Maya are not merely collapsing, they are being hunted. The most chilling evidence comes from the codices.
hidden fragments speak of a shadow within the people, a force described as both human and not, a corrupting influence that enters courts and temples alike, sowing derision until kingdoms fall from within. Some interpret this as metaphor, a warning against ambition. Others believe it is literal, that the Maya were betrayed not by drought or prophecy, but by a concealed hand steering their downfall. Whether it is plague, foreign intrusion, or secret betrayal, the effect is the same. Trust dissolves. No one knows who to blame or who to follow. Every ally could be the hidden enemy. And as fear tightens its grip, the Maya begin to destroy themselves from the inside out, exactly as the unseen foe intended.
Amid the wars, exoduses, and whispers of hidden enemies, one group remains the fragile thread tying the Maya world together: the priests, keepers of the sacred knowledge. For generations, they have interpreted the stars, guarded the codices, and advised kings on matters of life and death. But now, even their authority begins to fracture. Deep within jungle sanctuaries, far from the burning cities, a circle of surviving priests guards fragments of codices rescued from destruction. These manuscripts, hidden beneath stone altars or buried inside clay vessels, contain prophecies too dangerous to reveal. They speak of cycles of time not measured in centuries, but in ages. Cycles that dictate the rise and fall of entire civilizations. According to these forbidden texts, the Maya were not the first great empire destined to collapse, and they will not be the last. The priests face an impossible choice. Should they reveal this truth, risking panic and rebellion, or should they silence it forever, preserving order even as their world falls apart? Some argue that the people must know, that survival depends on preparing for the cosmic fate written in the stars. Others insist that knowledge itself is the danger, that revealing it will only accelerate the collapse. The division turns deadly. Temples once united in faith become battlegrounds of ideology. Priests accuse each other of heresy, codices are stolen or hidden, and in some cities, entire orders are executed for spreading forbidden truths. Ordinary people, sensing the chaos, begin to doubt the priesthood altogether. If the priests cannot agree on the will of the gods, perhaps the gods themselves have abandoned the Maya. And yet, before their ranks splinter completely, a few priests commit one final act of devotion. They carve fragments of the prophecy into stone, disguising them within ordinary inscriptions of kings and battles. These coded messages, overlooked for centuries, will one day be uncovered by archaeologists, revealing that the priests did not vanish into silence, but left behind warnings for the future. But for the Maya themselves, the damage is done. Faith collapses alongside kingdoms. The guardians of truth, divided and hunted, become symbols not of salvation, but of betrayal. And the greatest secret of all, that the prophecy may have been less about their fall than about the fate of civilizations yet to come, remains hidden in the ashes of their world. For centuries, the world would believe the Maya had vanished, their cities swallowed by jungle and their people lost to time. But the truth is far more complex and far more unsettling. The Maya did not simply disappear. They survived, scattered and hidden, adapting in ways that left behind more questions than answers. As great cities crumbled, fragments of the population moved deep into the forests, far from the reach of war and famine. There, they rebuilt smaller settlements, concealed by the canopy. Their temples were modest, their rituals quieter, their inscriptions fewer, but their traditions endured in secret. Kings no longer paraded as gods, but priests whispered the old prophecies to chosen ears, ensuring the knowledge did not die. Travelers' accounts from later centuries speak of strange encounters, villages where the people dressed in older styles, spoke in dialects thought extinct, and guarded shrines carved with ancient glyphs no outsider could read. Some communities refused to trade, turning away strangers with silence and arrows. Others mingled quietly with neighboring cultures, disguising themselves to preserve their bloodlines unnoticed. But survival came at a cost. The secrecy hardened them. Stories emerged of initiates forced into oaths of silence, of families disappearing into the jungle if they revealed too much. Fragments of codices reappeared in unexpected places, suggesting that knowledge was deliberately scattered, hidden not to be lost, but to be found only when the world was ready. For the common descendants, life blended into new identities. Farmers became part of neighboring tribes, artisans taught their crafts under new names, and healers disguised ancient rituals as folk remedies. The Maya lived on, not in cities of stone, but in bloodlines and whispers. Yet the question lingers. Did some leaders choose to vanish deliberately? Did they believe secrecy was the only way to protect the prophecy from destruction or misuse? Perhaps the greatest twist is not that the Maya disappeared, but that they ensured the world would believe they had, masking survival as extinction and leaving behind ruins as a decoy. The Maya story did not end. It went underground. And if fragments of their hidden knowledge still exist, guarded by descendants in silence, then the fall of the Maya may not have been a collapse at all, but a transformation. Centuries after the great cities fell silent, the jungle claimed the pyramids, and the world believed the Maya were gone forever. But the ruins were not empty. They were archives, hiding the last words of a civilization that refused to vanish without leaving a warning. Archaeologists, sifting through crumbling temples and broken stelae, begin to uncover inscriptions that do not speak of victories or dynasties, but of the future. Among the fragments of glyphs, erased, recarved, and disguised, a hidden message emerges. The prophecy of the stars was never only about the Maya. It was about cycles of time, repeating ages in which great civilizations rise, overreach, and collapse. The Maya priests, divided in their last days, still agreed on one thing, that the prophecy spoke of an event far beyond their own fall. Some glyphs describe a second sun, a blinding fire in the heavens. Others speak of oceans rising, of skies darkened for generations, of a silence that will cover the earth. The chilling implication? The Maya may have believed their collapse was only the rehearsal for a far greater catastrophe yet to come. And then comes the most startling twist of all. In one remote ruin, a carving shows not only glyphs, but images eerily resembling modern events. Burning cities, famine, and a world fractured by betrayal. Scholars dismiss it as coincidence, but others whisper, did the Maya foresee not only their downfall, but ours? If so, their silence takes on a new meaning. The abandoned cities, the destroyed codices, the deliberate vanishing. Perhaps these were not acts of defeat, but of concealment. Perhaps the Maya hid their greatest knowledge, ensuring that only fragments would survive, waiting for a time when the world was ready to listen. The shocking finale is this. The fall of the Maya was not the end of a civilization, but the beginning of a warning, a message carved into stone and hidden in ruins, left for us to decipher. Whether we heed it or ignore it may decide if history repeats itself. And as we look to the stars today, we cannot escape the same question that haunted the Maya. What if the prophecy was never about them at all, but about us?